Hi friends, MattDog2012 here, coming at you with another episode of Why They're Good, and this is a special pre-release sealed draft episode in which I go over a couple of cards that I got that you probably saw in the description and why they're good. So the first card that I definitely want to go over is the Scarab God. Look at how sexy he is. He's my promo. So a lot of people got some just junk promos, but I ended up pulling this, and actually someone that I played against pulled the same thing, and we actually played them against each other. It was really fun. She destroyed me. True story. Moving on. So the Scarab God. Cost 5. 3 colorless, a blue, and a black mana. For a 5/5 legendary creature, he's a god. So these gods are not indestructible. So remember that if you are going to play them, or if you're building a deck around them. So the ones from MTG, the monocolored ones were indestructible. These ones are not. So this one, his flavor text is at the beginning of your upkeep. Each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. So for 4, you can also create a zombie. So 2 colorless, a blue and a black. You exile target creature from any graveyard and create a token copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. And then when he dies, he goes back to his owner's hand at the beginning of his next end step. So a few things to note about this. First of all, he's a beast. He's a great bomb in draft, in sealed, in any sort of format that you're playing right now. When he creates the zombie and you're picking a creature from the graveyard, remember that it doesn't have to be your graveyard. It can be your opponent's graveyard. So super good at getting rid of their creatures. So it limits the amount of graveyard recursion that they can actually use on their own. So really good card. I actually chose to run this over this card right here, the Scorpion God. And I'll give you a few reasons why. First of all, I had a lot more. Blue is a nice removal color. There's a lot of cards in the set that tap down, that make it so they can't untap their creatures. It was really good, and it was a hard decision because this one also has black in it. And let's go over this, and I'll tell you why I chose the Scarab God over the Scorpion God. So, Scorpion God is 3 colorless, a black and a red. He's a 6/5, so he's already stronger. Power-wise. So that's one thing to consider. But whenever a creature with a -1/-1 counter on it dies, you draw a card. For 1 colorless, a black and a red, you can put a -1/-1 counter on another target creature, which is great. And when he dies, he goes back to your owner's hand, or the owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So a few reasons why I chose to run the Scarab God over Scorpion. First of all, there's a lot of black cards in the set. That when they enter the battlefield, they put a -1/-1 counter. There's also a lot of red, but I didn't pull any of those. So I had a lot of zombies that I ended up pulling, but no real cards, no real threats that I had to bring this guy into play. Also, I didn't really like the pay 3 in a sealed set. I'm always moving forward with new creatures, with new abilities, and I don't want to necessarily put just a 1/1 counter on someone just cuz. However, if I had other monsters that could do that for me, that's great. Maybe next time when hopefully I pull another one, it would be great. I could run this guy and really see how he works within a deck. But with any, in Commander, these are both going to be just fantastic. The Scorpion God works really well with Proliferate, Doubling Season, anything like that, so you can automatically just put a bunch of counters on a whole bunch of creatures, really whenever you can afford the mana, and then go from there. So it can actually whittle down the Emrakul's, everything like that. The Scarab God, if you really like scrying, which scrying is really fun, it helps you tune your deck and tune your library so that you can pick the right card at the right time. You can really affect your deck. If you get a lot of zombies and they're just out in the field ready to go, this will help you out greatly. So in conclusion, I mean, both these cards are great, and if you can pull any of them in your sealed, or your if you want to draft later on in Friday Night Magic, I would play with them 100% of the time. So what are your thoughts? How did you do? Did you run these cards? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe for new content, and I'll talk to you later.